Hello and welcome to IB Times TV. I'm Marisa Christian. Today I'm joined by IB Times tech reporter Ryan Neal to talk about the Twitter IPO. Nice to have you, Ryan.
Thanks for having me.
Now, Twitter is just over 7 years old, so why the IPO now?
A big part of that is the passing of the Jobs Act, which allows any company that posted under $1 billion in revenue to file for an IPO secretly. Twitter's going to use that to keep it secret, keep gossip away from them. Another part is that LinkedIn and Facebook both had record high stocks last week. And I think Twitter sees that as this is a good time for us to jump in also. But really the most important part is they finalized an acquisition of MoPub, which is a mobile advertising platform. I think Twitter wants to make sure they have all of their pieces in order to show investors that we have the capability to make you money.
Could this IPO be bad for Twitter?
It could. There's definitely a possibility, but I don't think so. I think Twitter was able to look at Facebook's IPO and basically say, we're going to go about this differently. They have the advantage of seeing what went right, what went wrong, and kind of do that a little better. Plus, Twitter's already making a good amount of money. Their advertising's already built in. People are used to it. And I don't think much is going to have to change for them to keep growing.
You mentioned the Facebook IPO. How does the Twitter IPO differ from Facebook's botched IPO last year?
Almost in every way. It's like Twitter looked at Facebook and said, okay, we're going to do the opposite. So for example, Facebook went with Morgan Stanley as the primary backer. Twitter's going with Goldman Sachs. Facebook went with NASDAQ. Twitter's going with the New York Stock Exchange. So they're kind of just in almost every way going the opposite direction. Also, as I talked about earlier, the secret IPO, that's going to let Twitter hold off speculation, which is a big problem for Facebook. Everyone was talking about it. Investors for a long time were reporting on how much is it worth. What are the problems with it? Twitter's getting rid of all of that by keeping it secret.
You wrote an article for IB Times chronicling the rise of Twitter from the first tweet to the IPO. What are some of the more memorable tweets that really made Twitter famous?
I think one of the most important ones was when NASA went to Twitter. We had the first astronaut tweet from space, which was huge. And then NASA really got on board really quickly after that, started holding tweet ups, started communicating directly with fans of NASA. So I think that was huge for Twitter, but really important is when I got involved in Twitter was in the spring of 2011 with the so-called Arab Revolution, which also had the nickname being called the Twitter Revolutions. We had protesters using it to communicate with each other, organize protests. We also had it as a way for the protesters to reach the outside world. So people in the West knew what was going on, saw images of it, could talk about it, even though the governments were blocking internet access.
Now, everybody is so used to Twitter. It's very ingrained in our lives. Even hashtags have become pretty commonplace. How has Twitter changed the social media game or even the internet as a whole?
Pretty much in every way. Twitter's had its foot in everything. Now we have Vine, which is video. There's Twitter Music, entertainment, advertising, politics. You can't do anything without Twitter being a part of the conversation now. Twitter's more than just a communication medium. It's a general platform that we all use. We had President Obama as an important part of his campaign. We see advertisers using it daily, all the time. It's everything now.
It's completely revolutionized breaking news.
Yeah, absolutely. The way we read news, the way we cover the news, it's the best tool for news.
All you need is 140 characters.
Exactly.
Thank you for joining us, Ryan.
Thank you.